So hi, as Yossi presented, my name is Ronen. I'm the CTO of Lockheed Martin called ISLGS Group. It's actually the IT division of Lockheed Martin, which is doing with everything that have computer inside it, almost anything. Besides the flights themselves, we are doing all the computer vision, video analytics, cyber, big data analytics, healthcare, name it, and we're dealing with it. Israel is actually the state that is related to 98% of global activity. We are leading all the technology activity around the globe. But it's not what we're going to talk about today. Unless someone have questions about Lockheed Martin. Some of you that have been here 2 minutes earlier heard that what we do is play games with the simulation of the F-35 and things like that. So yeah, we're kids. It's just a better way to you say you're at work and you play advanced Xbox style.
Are you looking for workers? I love
it's fun actually.
Did you go to the simulation for the F-35A?
Yeah, there is actually a simulation.
How was it?
In the last 2 days in Israel. It was amazing. I was spending an hour yesterday. Learn. Working, yeah. No, someone who needs to do the hard work and learn. A little bit about my background. I finished my first degree when I was 17. Spent my army at the intelligence force at 8200. Since then, leading mainly innovation activities of leading companies, Motorola, II, and then a few startups. Some of them was exit very successfully. Some of them are still running, and we hope they will be sold very successfully. And now today, as I said, I'm leading most of the innovation activity in Lockheed. And what Yossi asked me to say is a mix between actually 2 lectures that we are doing, that I was asked to do for Inno-Negev. One of them is a little bit about the story about entrepreneur and what is meant to be entrepreneur a little bit in Israel. I know some of you are not from Israel, so a little bit twist of what my belief around this area and what is important when you are coming to be entrepreneur. And it's a short demonstration, and then the other one, which will be the main focus of the activity today, it's what the focus to do when you have a great idea, great concept, and what are the steps or items that you need to look for to make it a product, which is a very, very big gap. It's not a university lecture, okay? It's an open style. Please stop me anywhere you can, ask questions, raise your personal ideas if you want to ask something and you can think it'd be relevant to the discussion. It's more kind of sharing my 20 years knowledge with you. So abuse me. No, there is no other way to say. So the first time when you become an entrepreneur, it's what your story. Okay, it's your personal story, your background, your expertise, your hobbies, and then what's behind you. Because this is usually the main drive. Okay, if you are, you can be an entrepreneur, but if you have no knowledge in flights, or you're not coming to build the next F-35 session. Usually your story is something that you grow up through, you work in it, and you understand there is a gap. You have a hobby and you want to explore it more and bring a better user experience into it. So the first thing is to know who you are, what you're doing, what you're looking for, and why you think that your idea is good. So the next step, like almost every Israeli, we wake up in the morning and we think we have a great idea. We're going to change the world. And we are really, we are a doer company, so we start to do it, and we start sometimes if we're a technology guy to develop it. But before we need to do it, like every session, we're going to take a kind of a whiteboard. And even though I have a great idea or a great story, I need a little bit to understand, okay, what to do. What is my concept? Who is my market? Who are my customers? Who's gonna buy it? How much work I think I need to get for it? how much money, who else in the world can be interested in this? Okay, if I don't know, it's a very specific something to Israel, is it interesting enough? So, and you don't need to be an expert in everything. Yeah? Today, Google is giving us a lot of information that, you just need to know where to look for it. But it's a very, very good start, kind of the whiteboard session, to put everything all of your idea, everything you search for, and start kind of playing with the puzzle to see if it's combined together and if there is something a little bit more than just being the next Luther Martin King. The most important thing that a VC is going to ask you, you have an amazing whiteboard, you have a great idea. Most of the VCs not there to save humanity. If you saw the Jeremy whiteboard,
Show me the money.
show me the money. Yeah, they want to make sure that your idea can make them richer. Okay, it's very, very simple. It can be amazing technology, it can be amazing helping people, helping all community to make their life easier. Maybe you can find a medicine to cure cancer. It really doesn't matter for them unless you can make from it money. Yeah, as bad as it sounds, they want to see money, and very, very important stuff when you're starting. You need to make sure how you make out of it the money. And this is very critical in the first steps to understand that there is really money, or we will talk about it later. There is a person out there, they are willing to put even $1 to buy what you're willing to sell. It sounds very easy, very difficult.
You said we need to check that out early on if there's somebody willing to buy.
Yeah, again, they don't need to get out, and we will talk about it later. They don't need to put the dollar now, but yeah, we'll do sensing the market. Okay, because a lot of people, let's take from mobile application. Okay, a lot of them goes from what we call the freebie. Yeah, you get it for free. Get it something for free, it's nice, but there is no business model behind it. Okay, there is need to be some business model again to gain money. So then there is kind of a basic question. Ask your friends, ask your colleagues, ask someone, are you willing to pay $1 or $2 for the application that I will give you? And if people say yes, and then maybe even pay more for it, then you are starting to build your business case. A lot of entrepreneurs in today's world, mainly in cyber actually, I don't know how much of you are related to the cyber domain, but it's also started to be in healthcare, and the past 5 years ago maybe in telecommunication. There is a lot of money out there. Okay, banks giving they have too much money. Investing in the stock market is bad, so a lot of money out there looking for a nice investment. But the idea is to start a business. Okay, so this is what I'm saying: how to start a business, how to get the right people to your team, and how to provide a real product to a real customer. Okay, freemium model. Again, it's personal on me. It's a very nice thing. It can be a nice, marketing strategy to start free and then starting to take money. There is no business behind it. It's not relevant. It will die. And this is something real that we need to give a real product to a real customer that will be willing to pay us a real money. Part of what we are doing, and again, it's a lot about the culture in Israel that, as I said before, is a doer, or we can make it by ourselves, is I have a great idea with the right people, right friend, I will work hard and I will success. I think this paradigm is, in the last few years, is going to shift because there's always more work to do, and there is always much more markets to penetrate to. Israel is not a market from business perspective. It's a very small playground that you're doing your alpha, you're doing your beta, but it's not interesting for business perspective. So the key for success today is to pick the right money, to pick the right investor. We will talk about it later, what we call smart money. Okay, because today, as I said before, again, in some domains, it's easy to get the money, again, and it's easy to spend the money, okay? Even more important. But finding the right investor, finding the investor that can open new doors, that can bring your product to new communities, new customers, This is today the main key to success, and even better if you're able to build kind of a consortium of investors around you. Even if each one of them are putting much less money, but they're opening much more options to the market, and this is the key for success today, because we are a global market. There are too many products out there. Yeah, the last statistic said that there is more than 1 billion mobile application. It's catastrophic number. Okay, so how you make your product, shiny, be the next unicorn, to make people buy it and use it. It's a lot today, kind of a friends bring a friends, put his reputation to bring, friends or product to the table, and a lot of at least the first sales, of course, before it became viral, the key success is the investors. So there is a long path, and we will not skip all of it about, how to make money from learning the code at night after work, and until you become, the one or the next top application. So the main issue about it that you need to remember is it's a long road. Okay, there is no quick money anymore. Rarely. Okay. And then we need to focus on the path. We need to be patient. We need to build it right. We need to choose our friend we work with. We need to choose our team worker. We need to choose, and we will talk about later, how much money we need to give. Some people says take as much as you can and give up your equity. Some takes only what you need and raise more later. Different perspective, different concepts, very depending on what your product is going to build. But it's a long path with a lot of places to kill your product actually. But if you believe in it and there is a real market behind it and a real customer, you will go through all of them until you will launch it one day. Some facts of life if you're a new entrepreneur. So always raise more money than you think. I don't know if some of you, build a house or something like this. We always have the Excel how much we think it's going to cost. It's always going to cost us more. So always raise at least 20-25% more than you think you need, even if you put margins and buffers and you think you're okay, you work by all the books, always took more. The main reason for it is because you're going to do mistakes. Everyone is doing mistakes. Market is changing, things are changing, and you need some kind of an extra buffer about things that are unexpected, the unknown of the unknown, things that you kind of don't know, that you even don't know that is missing for you. And it always comes, it's like, kind of a dating. Okay, if you're coming for your next round and you're looking for more money, because there is always a next round unless you're going to IPA, to the stock market. They are checking how much you're tense. If you are short with money, they will take more of your company, and then you're in a problem. So if you come to them earlier, or you still have some money in your budget, you can play it a little bit hard to get. It's all about kind of negotiation techniques and things like that. Very important. Coming with extras, because the money, like the cartoon, is going to keep you very fast. I talked before, smart money is more than a money. A lot of us, some of us, takes money sometimes from friends, from families. It's nice for a start, especially not for entrepreneurs. I spend my first with my family, the second with my family, the third one, they kick me out of the family because most of them don't success, so it's a problem, but not because of it, because as I said before, you need your money to open new doors. Okay, money from my father, it's great money, but he will not say if I'm doing something wrong. He will not, be the bad guy to say, okay, do this, maybe this. It's not the smart one. You need someone to, say what is wrong, someone that understands the market, someone that understands the needs. It's harder to get this money, I agree. But for long term, it's much more critical. Who are your partners? The classic magic number today for co-founders, it's 3. Okay, this is the magic number that VC are looking for. 2 can work if they have experience. 1 is usually a bad thing to do because, and we'll talk about it in a minute. When you're going to choose your partner, he can be maybe the smartest guy in your class, or any person that you have met. The idea is that you're going to pass a Via Dolorosa with him. Raising money, building application, building a product. There is a lot of tension, a lot of bad days. And you need someone you know that you can trust, that we can walk with you during all of this bad path or problematic path to make it happen. And so it's very, very important to choose the right partner. It's like really a husband or a wife for life, because at the end of the day, when you're a startup, you will spend much more time with your partner than with your husband or wife. Okay, during your flight, during working hours, tension when you don't have enough money in the bank and you need to pay for your employees. So it's a very, very critical point to choose your partner right, and I will talk about it later when you're building a team. I talked before about 1 or 2. The main issue for me sometimes is a VC also. If you're only one, that means that you were not able to convince someone else with your dream. Okay, I'm taking it from this way. It doesn't mean it's bad, it doesn't mean I'm right, but from my perspective, I need at least 1 more person. As I said before, a person that will put you $1, at least 1 more person that you convince with your idea that it's worth something, it's worth for him to spend money, to spend time, to leave work maybe, and to come with your dream. It's a small test, but it's a test that every VC is doing, and make sure, again, it's the right one. Every round of money, it's the beginning of next round. I don't know how much of you are familiar with round A, round B, seed money. We can talk about it if you want. All of us started with 100% of the company, and then we need to give away to our partners, to our VCs, and at the end of the day, we're coming out with less than 1%. But then always the question comes, what is better, 100% from nothing, or 1% from $1 billion company? Tricky one. You need to know that you need to share. Again, share it smartly. Think big. But yeah, these are your assets. Don't give up too easily equity. Again, in the beginning there is a classic mistake of entrepreneurs. We're giving up our equities because the company don't have value yet. We don't have revenue yet. We don't want to spend money from our pocket. So it's easier for us to spend our equity or our stocks, doesn't matter, options. It's a mistake because during the way, and there are going to be at least round A, round B, and in most cases round C, you will need to give up much more, and most of them are not becoming $1 billion company. And a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves at the end of the day with almost nothing. And when I say nothing, I will give you an example. I sold a company in 2009. We sold it for $200 million. Okay, which is nice equity. I have less than 1%. And the end of the day, after taxes, converting from dollar to shekels and things like that, I was on the bank 100 shekels. So just to give you, it was a cheap company. We wasted a lot of money and equity. So just to give you the perspective, it was very nice equity. Most of the founders found this without nothing. Even I was the 6th founder. Gave money to the bank during all the transactions. So it's something that you need to take care of. It's happening. Just put in your back on your head. Yeah.
When you start a company, in the beginning of a startup, let's say you have 3 partners or 2. How would you split up equity? Would you split it equally between them, or you think it's important that one person has the most?
It's a good one. Usually when I start with 2, usually you need to make it interesting for them. Okay? Usually, depending how much you believe in it and how much you need this person with you, it's usually equal. Usually, in some cases you can see 40-40 because there are two founders and then they brought the technology guy, or there are two technologies that brought the marketing guy, and they gave him kind of 15% or 20% depending, which is acceptable. Because they say, okay, we are core technology, we need someone, to complete our stuff, or there is some kind of, for example, companies also in Inno-Negev, there are two young entrepreneurs that just released from the army. They may need to bring a CEO to the company that have experience in the market, and they will probably need to give up, 10 or 12%. So it not need to be equal, but there is need to be a good reason why it's not equal.
You don't think that one person needs to have more than the rest, or?
No, depending. Again,
Okay.
when you're doing, sometimes it's more, I tell you when it's happening. If, for example, I brought the idea and I'm also now investing the money, for example, and now you are joining me as a partner, and all you can give is a few hours and things like that. So yes, we are a partner, you're a co-founder, but since I have bigger risk because I'm also putting the money, then it's different.
I'm talking about from the investor's perspective. Let's say an investor comes in and sees, or he doesn't care, he just wants to know how much % he's getting.
You need to know how much they care. They need to make sure that the founders have enough equity to stay in the company. Okay, not happening what the case I described you 6-7 years ago. It was back then. Now VCs are more care about the people because they understand that if I have not enough interest in the company or not enough equity,
It's not going to work.
yeah, it's not going to work. And they are not taking care of you, they are taking care of their money. Yeah? Don't be
Right.
wrong. So again, it's not need to be equal, it needs to be interesting enough. Let's call it like that. More than 5% for partner. A little bit about, before we jump to the next session, is how much money I need to do some kind of investigation, how much money I need, how much it costs to do a developer, how much it costs to do a marketing, when I need it, because again, as much as I can to come to an investors with more mature product, I can raise more money or I can give up less equity. It's always a balance, how far can I go? I always say don't stay too much in the garage because staying in the garage is great. But again, at the end of the day, you need to see if there is a market traction to your product, if there is a real customers out there. So it's a nice balance between how mature am I and when I need to raise the money. It was very popular until 2 years ago, even to raise on only PowerPoints. Today, the paradigm changed and they want to see some kind of early version of a product, but it not need to be a product. Okay, it needs to be something that they will feel confidence with. Where can I get the money? There is a lot of options. Families and friends that we talk, which I have not recommended, but it's always an option. Crowdfunding becoming very popular depending on your people. Loan banks, private angels, and of course venture capitals.
Grants.
How?
Grants.
And grants, yeah, from the OCS. Depending in what market you are, what it gives you. I can tell you we use grants in one startup that it helped us. In the other one, we win the grants and we didn't use it because they have some restriction if you want to sell your IP outside Israel. It's a tricky one. This is why I said doing it, not only look for money. Okay, look a little bit further, where it can bring you, where it can stop you, if it can limit you. And yeah, it's a nice one. You see always maybe in the newspaper, a company, mainly in the last few years in cyber and healthcare, raised $5 million, $10 million. Most of them dead, really, most of them dead. They spend the money too fast, they are not mature enough. They did a lot of mistakes that cost them more. Somehow, being much more lean, keep you sharp, keep you think twice before you spend the money. And again, for long term, it's better. Think about it. This is the statistics, not me.
Can I?
Yeah.
It's a very general question.
We are doing very general conversation, okay? It's not.
The model that everyone presents for startups is you start very small, you raise huge amounts of money, and then either you go public or you sell for humongous sums of money. And usually the founders make very frequently hardly anything. It seems to me that there should be a different model for startups. Like, at the end of the day, it seems to me that people's goal is to be able to live comfortably. Okay?
Depending on the person, but yeah.
I mean,
Really depending, but yeah, okay.
it seems, why isn't there another model for, you don't have to raise huge globs of money and you don't have to sell for humongous sums, but you can create some kind of viable business that gives you viable income. Whenever I raise that issue, people are like, no, that's not a startup.
That's not Israel. No, it's a good point that actually we are facing it with a lot of colleagues that I meet from US companies, AT&T, Verizon, even Cisco and things like that. They are coming to me, why in Israel we are not building companies? Okay, there are very, very few companies in Israel that, as you said, have product sales, have a nice revenue. Something in our culture become like the reality that we want to do very fast, quick round, and then moving to the next one. There is even if you do, again, I'm taking cyber because I'm more comfortable, but there are hundreds of startups in Israel. Actually, only two companies, Checkpoint and now these days Cyber. Two companies, and I think in the last 6 years there was more than 5K startups. So you are right, and there is very, very disturbing, even investors today, they are coming that they know there is no product. Israel are great with ideas, great with innovations, great to do me amazing demo, but then it's break because there is no product or there is no enterprise scale for those products. Why? I have no good answer for it. It's dependent. Again, depending on your market, depending on what you're gonna do. For healthcare, for example, there are much because they have the research and things like that. They are much more building a product or a company. In a processor or a chip company, the investments are very, very big. So they also are trying to build companies in application, mobile, cyber, smart cities, stuff like that. They are coming very fast. There is no interest in Israel to build a product. They just want to do a quick round.
But they do money. All the startups, all my friends that made startups, exits, they have a lot of money.
No, it's okay.
Even 1% from $200 billion.
No, it's.
They're doing money if it's a great
Right, but it seems to me like there would be a higher rate of success if the model was different.
There are different models. Again, in the world, this is the model that you're talking is the classic model in the US and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Something with our culture, destroy it. We kind of don't have the patience to maintain the product, to fix it, to enhance it. We did something, it's cool, we sell it, and we go to spend the money.
Customer service.
And then you spend it all on your next.
Something to support the business, to do customer. A lot of companies you will see when they are building, I see their business plan, okay, which is Excel that's worth nothing, but never mind. They download it from. It's kind of my company will raise blah blah. But there are what you consider that. And I see a lot of them, okay? Almost none of them have an R&D manager, engineers, sales, none of them have a support guy. They think it's, we will sell it, somehow it will work, it will be okay. And none of them invest in advanced QA or support. So I have no good answer really, but
Maybe it's the advantages. What are the
I don't know,
companies?
it's advantageous if the people looks for excite, and building a company is not exciting in most cases. Most cases, it's like, you're ramping up, and the maintenance part is where most of the people drops. Sorry.
Maybe you don't have time because if you think about it, venture capital working in 7 years runs, so many times.
No, but most of them, again, it's depending what the idea and what is, again, the market. Yeah, in some cases they want to see how they're doing their quick rounds. And in other cases, they do want to see companies. They earn more from companies. I'll give you, 2 minutes, math. Even if they invest, let's say, 20, VC, let's start from there, need to do at least 3 times what they got. Okay, if I got $1 billion venture, I need to give back at least $3 billion. Okay, this is the concept of VCs. Now, when I put in a company $20 million, I get, for example, 10% in round A, and then my equity is going down, because there is round B and round C, and maybe my 10% become 2%, and again, even if I sold for $200 million, $400 million, okay, I have, what, 20 million, let's say, $15 million, I need to go to $3 billion, okay, it's not interesting sometimes for me to do those quick rounds. So they really hope to do, there is once in a life waste time. Okay, most of them are dead or not interesting, or they're hoping that they invested enough to make it 2-factor or 3-factor, that it will give them something because they want to keep cool, they want to say that they are working with seed companies and things like that, but most of their big investments, they are looking for today. They're looking for companies, they're looking for mature companies, they are looking for entrepreneurs, hopefully, that build a company, maintain it. There is a shift today. Okay. But okay, you asked before about how to split the pie, so it was a good question. I forgot I had this slide with me. So as I said, triple is the best number. You need the knife one was only 10K, but you need to be ready to run a marathon, because it's a long way. We talk about how we split the money. What is interesting? Some of the investors, and it's the last point here. This is the statistics. How much phone calls you do to VCs, how much you get to meetings, and finally how much you get the term sheet.
0.
It's a path. Yeah, well, not 0, but in most cases, most of the ideas die. Okay, we see the sexy stories in the news, but most of the ideas die because they are not getting the real sponsorship. They may raise $1 million, 500Ks, even $5 million. The question is if they are able to do the follow-up investment, and most of them die at this stage. I don't think when you're choosing your VC or your partner, strategic partner, is what they are giving. Okay, as I said, most of us have very good experience in something, but we are lack of experience in other stuff. So we need to see if our partners, okay, they are not bringing just money, can bring us added value. So some VCs are the big ones. They give you some kind of mentoring. They will come for 1 hour board meeting and they will say yes, no, blah, blah, blah. Some of them once every 2 months. In most cases, for young entrepreneurs, it's not interesting. For more mature entrepreneurs, you don't want the headache, they will interrupt you, so an hour per month, it's okay. But for young one, you need someone not to do a bit design with you, but to guide you, to say where you're wrong, to understand the market, to support you, to shape even your slides. It's very, very important to see that you have a good chemistry between the VCs and you. And this is the last slide. How to choose a VC? You need to be a partner for a beer, okay? As I said, there is a bad time, good times. You need him to support you. There need to be a good chemistry. You need to have an expertise in his domain if you're doing, I don't know, social activity or marketplaces or healthcare. You need to be experienced in this market. Again, part of what we talked before, the smart money. Match my strategy to the stage you are investing in or how much money I need. Target the market location. As I said, Israel, again, with the exception of maybe can be a market, it's not an interesting market. You need to find out, some VCs are targeted in the US, some of them in Europe, some of them in Asia. Very, very important. Where is your target market? When do you think it will be easier for you to penetrate the market?
So you should look for a VC in the target market itself, rather than in Israel.
Sometimes it's a local VC that his funds are taking from Asia, and they, for example, so they have an interest to support you in Asia. Sometimes you're taking local VC with, for example, US VC. Depending, there are some international VCs locate with the office in Israel that can open you the door outside. They also have offices around the globe. There are different types of how to get money. And again, we are talking mainly VC, but there is strategic partner like companies like Lockheed Martin, IBM, Cisco, Microsoft. Again, depending who you're targeting, the main idea that they will be able to support you and able to support your market location. Different lecture is brand. Brand is everything. Doesn't matter how amazing technology guys you are. Branding and reputation is the most important thing. This is a different lecture if you want. Any questions? Moving ahead. You're tired, you need a break? Okay. Until when we have?
We have another 20 minutes.
20 minutes, so we'll move fast. Now we skip it fast because I talked about a few items before. The idea of this session was, take it from a concept, I have a good idea, I have a dream, to actual the shop, to the Best Buy, to Amazon, doesn't matter, to create a product off the shelf that I can actually sell, and with all the key points of development in the process. So as I said before, this is very, very important. You need to make sure that people or organizations are interested in it, need it, and have the budget to buy it. Okay, maybe I have an amazing application for dogs, but if they're not able to pay it, then it's not interesting. So this is kind of the three goals that you need to remember when you're thinking about an idea. Every startup actually starts, we talked before, with a lot of expenses. There is a sales growth, everything is, not every startup, most of the good ones. This is where actually most of the people drops to their next venture, because this is starting the maintenance and something goes down. The main concept of entrepreneur, it's how to make this graph look more like this. Yeah, there are drops, there are hips that we need to get over to, but how I make sure it's very, very short one, and I'm getting to the next peak or targeting next market, next location, launching new features and things like that to make these peaks stable. You can see it from iPhone market. They are not surprisingly release an iPhone every few months and things like that. It's designed to keep these trends, okay, not going there. There are a few ideas when you are going to develop a product from the idea generation, as I said, until the customer. There are two key issues that I really believe that need to be tested very fast. One, we talk about startups, but it's the same thing for restaurants, for example, that I work with few chefs and things like that. First of all, test your concept. Ask people, sit with them, present them your idea, have kind of what we call the elevator pitch. See if in 2-3 lines you're able to catch their attention, if they are listening to you, and if they think it's interesting. This is one kind of an activity that you need to go, and not all of them to your families that will tell you because they love you that it's an amazing idea. Go to people that you appreciate and will be able to say to you a hard stuff, or it's a bullshit, or maybe expert in this domain that they will tell you, hey, there is another 5 startups in this domain, maybe think differently. Very, very important to test your concept in a very early stage. Some of it can be pitch, more advanced can be 5 slides. Next thing can be a short demo. Again, depending on your product, depending what you're trying to sell. Something that will give the feeling what you're doing, why you are doing it, and why it's the next unicorn in the market. The other stuff is test the marketing. Try to sell it, even if it's not mature yet, even if it's not fully featured, if it's not fully stable. Look for a kind of early adopter customer that will be able, sometimes not even to pay you too much, but even if they will able to put your product inside their organization, it's also a sign that there is a market, someone needs it. Okay, if it's a restaurant, you're approving their menus or their seats order. If it's a bank that you want to put them in a new finance system, I don't know what, it's better if they will pay you. As I said before, I don't believe in free things. Even if they will pay you a little bit amount of money, that means that they're interested and they like the idea and they are willing to pay for it. You're not going to be rich from it and you're not going to cover all your expenses for it. But it's another stage, because people, when you give them something for free, it's free. So kind of, give it to me. Well, I have nothing to lose. If they need to pay something, they need to go to ask for approval for it, they need to do some work. That means that they like your product and you have some kind of a good chance to succeed with it. It doesn't matter that you will succeed, but it's another stage. If you pass those 2 tests, then you're in a good path to start developing a product. I will send you the slides later, but there is a lot of what is important. In Israel, usually we're very focused on technology, comparing to the US, which are very much more business-oriented guys and sales. At the end of the day, it's a mix. You need a good technology, you need a good idea, you need to have the customers, you need to have a good leadership, you need to have a good culture in your company that know how to build a product, how to build a company. Very, very important. Few keys about the startup playbook. One issue is the idea. We talked about it before. Why we are building it, what we are building, who need it. 2 shapes I talked before: fast POC to see if you can sell it. And if it's a big effort, 6 months investment now to build it. Sometimes it's not worth to build it, and then just kind of talk with potential customers, show them slides, and you may gain your traction and feedback from it. A great team is a key success. Again, as an entrepreneur and as a VC now, you see a lot of great teams or great ideas, they call it like that. In most of the cases, you start with one idea, it ends up with a very, very different idea. So usually, and there is a lot of good ideas out there. I think the number 1 criteria today in investment is the team. It needs to be always, people like to be part of, a successful founder. If you had a good success at the past, it's always helps. So if you don't have, maybe try to bring someone to your co-founder partners that have it. They need to be kind of low stress people. As I said, there are going to be a lot of bad times. It needs to feel very comfortable to work with through them. they need to be very flexible. In mining, I see a lot of great teams that ask them a question. Maybe take this product too. And in 90% of the cases, it's not I really want to take them to another market, it's just to see if they're open. Because you really don't know where the market is going to take you. Who is going to be your big leading customer? And what we are checking is kind of if you're open-minded. So it's always tricky. I'm not expecting to, it's a great idea, yeah, we'll shift all the company there, because I really want to see that you trust where you did the market analysis, you did the business plan, so I want to see that you trust what you have done. But on the other hand, I want to see that you're open-minded to new ideas, new directions, new markets, because at the end, as I said before, it's a more partnership set, not just cow cash flow to give you the money. How much they're responsive, you give them a lot of people will give you homework. Send me market analysis, send me competitive analysis, send me your KPIs to success. You ask for 5 millions, let's assume I give you 2 millions, what you're going to do with it. Again, they are not reading it, okay, in most cases. What they are trying to catch is how fast you do it, how fast you react, how creative you are, how ready you before you came to the meeting with them. It's a tricky one. The idea is that with the first investor, it will be the first time you build this document. Hopefully in the third or fourth investor, we already have them. And with sub-shaping, we will be able to deliver it faster. But it's something people test and see again, the react of the team. And at the end of the day, I talked about the beer and I'm repeating it here. It's all about people. Really. If you have a really good communication between the founders and the partners. Who am I going to take to my core team? First of all, people that can build a company product or a service, even if they will want to go to fast exit. I want to see, at least from the state of mind, they want to build a company, or they want to build a product, or they believe there is a chance to build a company for it. There are some nice exits for, again, company calls inside the domain. It's two founders, two brothers working in Microsoft, for example. They found a vulnerability in Microsoft. They left Microsoft, opened a company, and sold the company 1 year later for $100 million. With the bug that they have created in Microsoft, they sold the solution. Okay, so from the very early stage, it's like a Peter Pan style, but or a ransom in a different way. But for those guys, I give them as an example, they had no plan to build a company. Okay, they have a very specific feature, a very specific thing that they know to do. There is no way it's going to be a company. But they go for the quick one. They are very rich people. Yeah. Nothing better than it. But if you want to build a company, make sure that your team member can do it. Need to be people that know to talk. As I said before, communication. Very, very key issue. Being able to do mingling, being able to start a conversation, being able to giving a lecture. Some people that we found can be amazing technology geek, but if they are not able to explain to other people what they are doing and why it's amazing, it will die, because the VCs don't understand anything. They kind of catch the click. If I had the click, if he was able to explain it in very easy stuff, but in a very easy way, it's very valuable. Make sure people, you finished?
No, we have another.
Okay. Make sure people can manage and lead. Okay, when you're a new startup, hopefully you will grow up. Again, if you want to build a company, so you need to make sure that people can lead. Hopefully they are domain experts of what they are doing. Think about end-to-end solution, as I said before, not only about development, QA, support, user interface. This is at the end of the day, in most products, what you're actually selling. You can do amazing product with amazing technology, but if people don't know how to use it and don't love to use it, again, it will die. A good example I'll give you, we sell one of the top amazing products. Yes, it's about we won Israeli innovation prize about it. It was very high classified. We go to India to sell it, and we couldn't make it. And it was celebrated in Israel, in the US, in Germany. Amazing people, PhDs, people work with it. And when I go to the border to talk with the Indian people that's supposed to operate it, they say, it's too complicated. Maybe it's amazing, but I don't know how to operate it. So we actually took everything to this kind of screen. We put 3 buttons: start, stop, send to your manager. And then we start to sell it like hot donuts. They didn't know what's behind. They didn't care. They didn't want to care. They just want to be able to do it very simple and to make sure that their manager is getting what they need. So this is kind of understanding who your customers, what they need, what they're afraid of. So user experience, UX, it's a very, very important thing. There we go. I will move fast. What is important here, user experience I talk about. Very important issue. We some of us, the cliche that the threat of the best is to be perfect. And in most cases, you can always have improvement to your products, always want to have only one more feature, only one more enhancement, only one more bug fix, but it's wrong. Again, you are doing a product to sell it. You are doing a product to make the customers happy. Launch it. Some of them, again, will give you a bad feedback. Some of them will be dropped. But this is part of the process of learning, improving your product, getting feedbacks. If you're going to stay in the garage forever, you may have an amazing product, but if no one will buy it, then it's an issue. And always remember, product is not just a technology. It's everything around. It's sales, it's marketing, it's branding, it's user interface, it's sales guys. It's not just amazing technology.
Because we don't have a lot of time, I think that...
We'll give you an answer to questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk a little bit about Lockheed Martin and what you're doing over there, it's not plenty of time.
I don't know if what is interesting. Yeah, no, one slide. Very, very important thing when you're doing prioritize is what not to include in your product. It sounds weird, but the hard part, even in slides, this guy in the slides are bad, is how to keep it much more white. Okay, what not to put inside. This is a bad example because there is too much information in this idea. Same for UI, same for your products. Keep it simple, keep it clean. It's harder, but this is one of the key to success. Yeah, one last one, sorry. What kind of people you want to hire? The people you want to hire, I always say the good one are people that are not looking for a job. Okay, these are the people that you want to hire because if they are looking for a job, they have different reasons to join you. Some of them want better salary, better location, looking for adventure, changing technology. I don't know why, but they have their own reason, which is good. But you don't want them as part of your core team. As part of your core team, you want to have a person that is have good job, is satisfied with the job, you have a good salary, and with your idea, you convert him to your startup. This is kind of people that you know for sure they came because of the idea, because of you, because they trust you, and not because I don't know what. So it's a very, very important, at least your core team, be those kind of people that move to your company because they like your idea or you, and they're able to do their own startups. It's very, very important.
This is why when you asked me, I told you that I really believe in the team. Because the team that you are trying to help, just the right team, okay? They really believe in the idea and they willing to risk everything. Let's say jobs, just to work with one very good entrepreneur.
Yep, so this is the last one. So all you need is a great idea, great team, great product, amazing execution, and do opinions. So easy. Have fun. I think the most important stuff is having fun. If you don't have fun with your team, with your product, with what you're doing, there is no key for success. You need to have fun. Any questions? Yeah.
Do you work IT with Cyber Reason at Lockheed?
Yes, I'm part of Cyber Reason Founders. I founded Cyber Reason, and yet now
Interesting.
I was part of the investors. Of
As soon as
Cyber
you
Reason.
said the 8200 intelligence unit, I'm like, you must know Lior, Latan, and Amit.
Okay, Yossi and Amit was my partner. Lior was the one that replaced me as the CEO. Yeah.
So it was your
Partner. It's not that good. No, I'm joking.
It's not.
I don't believe in
You don't believe
different discussion. No, not in them. They have an amazing team. They, for example, yeah, for you asked, Cyber Reason for now raised too much money.
Yeah.
Too much money.
It's just a contract and.
Yeah, it's too much money. And again, now when they will come to evaluation, their evaluation is $1 billion. It's too big for someone. And again, they're very early stage company. They almost don't have sales. They have some installation. And it's, it was very tempting, a bank offer you $40 million, so you take it.
Yeah.
But now they are wondering what to do with the money. So they're starting to look for buying companies, recruiting a lot of people, so you're kind of giving up the quality a little bit. So again, there is no good or bad, but they're now in a risk. If you want to build the right company, do it in steps. Too much money, too fast, can be a big damage.
Especially when like Lockheed Martin puts you underneath their wing. Like, come on.
There are good things, there are bad things in it. And I think what Lockheed Martin gave mainly for them, it's not the money, it's kind of the certification as the cyber leader of the federal government that they are good. So Lockheed Martin is more strategic money or smart money. They give them less than $1 million. Okay, it was the certification that we believe in them, which worth for their brand much more than the actual money. Later they took more money. It's another issue, but yeah, how do you know that?
Agreed.
No, there are different companies again doing different stuff. There is no bad decision. The history will judge them. But we hope for the best. My banking manager hoped for the best. But more questions.